Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so February 16th, Bryant Jennings is slated to be back in the ring against Muralimov. This is going to be an interesting fight. Obviously, I would favor Bryant Jennings to win the fight, but Muralimov, once upon a time, was a 16-0 undefeated guy. He was 16-0. I believe he has 13 knockouts, undefeated, and he fought on CBS Sports. I forget which card exactly it was, but he was fighting Derek Rossi. This one, he was being looked at as an up and coming, undefeated guy being tested, and it was a close fight. He even, I believe he rocked Rossi during that fight. I haven't seen a fight in a while, but I believe he rocked him in that fight, and it was a close, debatable fight. In my opinion, at least, it could have went either way. Then he was showcased on Showbox against Jarrell Miller. Another showcase type of fight where, Miller obviously was undefeated. Well, he has the one draw with Joey Dwecko, but both guys were being looked at as prospects. It was a good fight. Miller got him out of there. He stopped him. I know he dropped him with he measured him with a jab and then hit him with a nice right hand that dropped him. I believe he knocked him out in like the third round, or he stopped him in the third. And then Muralimov lost another fight. He lost all three fights he lost in a row. And then he just lost to Jermaine Franklin by decision, up-and-coming undefeated prospect that I've done a video on. So Muralimov, man, he's lost his last three fights, two of them by decision. One of them I thought could have went either way. The one he lost to Miller, he got stopped in that fight. And I didn't get to see the Jermaine Franklin fight. I just know the result. I didn't get to see any footage of that fight. If you guys have any footage of that fight, please send it to me. But interesting fight for Bryant Jennings to take. Being that this guy comes forward and you have to back him up. I don't know how exactly Jermaine Franklin was able to beat him. I know Derek Rossi was fighting off the back foot a little bit. Then he would, try to back him up here and there. Miller, we know how Miller fights. He was putting Muralimov on the back foot, pressuring him. But Muralimov is a guy that likes to come forward. He likes to bob. He's a shorter heavyweight, about 5'11", so he likes to bob and weave, use his jab, overhand rights, left hooks, kind of like what the shorter heavyweights like to do. Huge overhand rights, huge left hooks. But he likes to bob and weave and jab his way in. He likes to pressure you, So it's going to be interesting to see how Jennings wants to, what style he takes as far as fighting Muralimov. I think he's going to, fight how Jennings always fights. He's going to put the high guard up. He's going to try to jab his way in and back up Muralimov. So I think it'll be an entertaining fight. And then, after this fight, I just did a video about Charles Martin. Same thing with Bryant Jennings, man. I expect him to get through this fight, but then after this, I like to see him fight Adam Konowski and even Charles Martin. I think him and Charles Martin would be a good fight. Andy Ruiz Jr. Him and Andy are both with Top Rank. You would think that fight would be easy to make. I know both of those guys want a shot at Joseph Parker. Parker's getting ready to fight Anthony Joshua, so I guess we got to wait and see how that's all going to play out. But I know, with those guys being with Top Rank and being that Bob Arum is doing some co-promoting with Higgins and Duco events with Joseph Parker. Parker is wrapped up in his own thing right now. So Ruiz or Jennings getting a shot at him right now is just not going to happen right now. So, I want to see Jennings, man. I want to see him in there with Andy Ruiz Jr. That's a fight I think that could be made. I like to see him in there with Jarrell Miller. I mean, anybody, Dominic Brazil, Dimitrenko, Pulev, you name them, I want to see these guys in there with. I know some of these guys are waiting for title shots or they got other things going on, but a lot of guys that should be fighting right now. We are getting the fights that we should get. We're getting Wilder Ortiz. We're getting Joshua versus Parker. We're getting White versus Brown. So I'm not complaining like we're not getting any fights. But I do think there are a few guys out there who are just racking up on journeyman. I know like Martin and Jennings, they're coming back from taking long layoffs. I understand that. But, you get 3 or 4 of these type of fights, maybe 2 or 3, then I think it's time to move up and get those noteworthy type of fights. But this fight right here, Muralimov versus Jennings, should be an entertaining fight as far as styles concerned, because both guys, for the most part, like to come forward. And I think Jennings is going to have to back this guy up to win the fight. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gone.